Welcome back to the Paul White Show. We're glad you stayed tuned. I did mention just before we took that short break that I did have a guest. I almost said it in studio guest, but I think you recognize that we're not in the studio. We're out where Mother Nature is today, and we're going to be talking about nature, about insects, and what you need to do to get yourself ready for this year that they are forecasting to be pretty rough when it comes to insects. So welcome to the show, or welcome to my Ponderosa, Brett Irvin.
Oh, glad to be here. Glad to be here, Paul. We're just looking at your yard. Thought we did a little walk around before we started shooting, and just complimenting on the home place here. Looks fabulous.
Well, you know, this is a Garden Wise yard.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
We've got
some of our products,
right?
Our grass seed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We've got the Garden Wise blend. It's formulated by
K-State. Fescue blend. Yes, sir.
Yeah, no weeds.
Yeah.
But plenty of insects.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
This episode, and you know, you kind of alluded earlier in the intro that if we think back to this winter, we didn't have much of a winter,
right?
And so for the fact that it was mild, we had a lot of insect eggs that overwintered. We had a lot of larvae that overwintered. We just had a lot of insects that didn't die,
right?
And it was so mild, and they got a really early start. So we'll kind of talk about some of that and what we want to look for, and some of the more common pests that we see in the lawn and maybe in the vegetable gardens, Paul.
Yeah, this year they are a lot earlier. I know where I am. I'm kind of out of the city, and we've been seeing mosquitoes already. My dog, I've already taken a tick off of it. I get a lot of questions in the store about what do we need to use? What products do we need to use? It's
really not too complicated. If we're talking about the lawn and fleas and ticks outside, and of course we know, and I think we'll talk a little bit later about it's not just treating the pet, it's not just treating the house, it's not just treating the yard. We need to kind of treat everything and really try and stay ahead of it. So some of the products we can use, some people, we want to use an insecticide, and some of the insecticides that we brought here, we have liquids and we have granules, Paul, and they're designed to be used. The granules we certainly would want to use outdoors. But some of the newer technology gives us a really kind of a low impact on the environment. So it's really pretty safe to use. Some of these products that we're going to be talking about are even labeled on most of our pets and livestock. So and not only are they going to be effective, but some of the newer technology gives us a really nice long residual, lasting up to 3 to 4 to 6 weeks, which is really nice. Makes it economical when we think that we don't have to retreat every week or every 2 weeks.
Right. Okay, let's start in the lawn. How do we product we use on the lawn that would rid fleas and ticks?
I'm going to start out with one of my favorites, and it is, hopefully I'm grabbing the right one. It's this product right here. It's the High Yield Indoor Outdoor Multi-Use Insecticide, and it contains a product called permethrin. What I like about permethrin and this particular product and label, Paul, is that it is labeled, we can use it almost anywhere. We can use it as a spray, we can spray our lawns with it, and it does an excellent job on fleas. It does a great job, very effective on ticks as well. It's going to work on flies. It's going to work just about on anything, anywhere. So we can use it in the turf. It's also labeled, what I like about it, it's labeled for, we can use it, it's labeled for vegetables. So we can use it in the vegetable garden. We can use it on ornamentals for other insects and bagworms. And it even is labeled to be used indoor. It's a water-based, low-odor formula, Paul, which means we can use it to spray indoors for spiders, for crickets, for roaches, for fleas, absolutely. Because it's a water-based formula, we don't have to worry about, and low odor, we don't have to worry about it stinking up the house or staining. You know, so well, it's stain only that what water will stain. And it's going to give us about a nice 4-week residual indoors and outdoors. It's going to last a little bit longer inside. It also has a pet label, so we can use this diluted properly on our dogs. I would say in most cases going to be our dogs in our yards, but I think it's got a goat label on it. It's got a cow label on it, so we don't want to use it on cats. But we, as always, Paul, you and I always recommend that we always read and follow label directions, and we mix it. It's designed to be mixed as per label directions, Paul, and sometimes if we think a little is good and recommended, then we think, well, if I use 4 times as much, it's going to work 4 times better.
Absolutely.
And sometimes that can backfire on us.
Absolutely.
So it's designed to work at those label rates, and that way we don't overuse, and it goes much further.
Right.
So that's a great one, and we can use this indoor, on the lawn, anywhere. It's great. I love it. That's the one product that I kind of use myself,
right.
Because it has so many purposes. We also have a very similar product in a granule, and it's called High Yield Turf Ranger.
Okay.
Some people don't like to spray. A lot of people like to use granules.
Right.
So that product is called Turf Ranger, and that's going to control fleas, ticks, ants, just like the indoor-outdoor. That's a common problem and premise. Spiders outside, we can use it. And we just simply put that in our spreader.
Right.
And it comes in 2 sizes. It comes in a 10-pound bag that treats 5,000 square feet, and it comes in a 20-pound bag that's going to treat 10,000 square feet.
Right.
And that's a very, very similar product.
Okay, yeah, for outside. So like you said, if you don't have a sprayer or got a large amount to spray, you can go and use the granular and put it in a spreader and get it done.
Yeah.
If you don't have enough holes to spray your whole yard.
But
you know, you mentioned spray in the yard too. There's an apparatus that Fertiloom makes that so simple, your neighbor won't know if you Chemlon or Hulon, because you just look into the water hole.
We sell so many of these sprayers, and once you explain to people how this sprayer works, it's very, very simple. We don't have to mix any water in this, Paul. We don't have to really read any, well, we want to read directions, but it's very simple. All we need to know is the dilution rate.
Right.
And once we know that, and we know that this dilutes at 1 tablespoon per gallon, it has a little arrow, a little bead there, and we just simply dial the dial to 1. We pour in the concentrate. We don't have to mix.
Right.
And we screw this back on, hook up our hose, and we're spraying at the precise recommended rates. So it's so easy.
Right.
If we want to make it even easier, Paul,
absolutely,
that'll screw right on top of
bottle.
any Fertiloom or High Yield.
16-ounce bottle.
Any 16-ounce bottle, and we don't even have to come in any contact.
Right.
But what's nice, if we pour it in here, anything we have left over, we can pour it right back into this bottle, and we don't have to worry about having it mixed up and having too much, not having enough. So it's real. It just makes it so easy to spray. And this it's got a deflector on it, so we can make a fan spray, a fan pattern. We can turn it. We can make it. We can cover the bottoms of leaves if we want to in the vegetable garden.
Right.
And it also comes off, Paul, and this sprayer will spray about 25 to 30 feet. So for a medium-sized fruit tree, it's ideal.
And
it's
that's
just
absolutely
ideal.
what I use
and
to
that's
spray
what
my
you've
fruit
got.
trees with.
That's exactly right. So we want to make sure that's the Fertiloom aromatic sprayer, and it's quality. They last forever.
Right.
There's not much to go wrong. We want to clean it occasionally. Be nice if we clean it every time I use it, but I know I'm guilty. I don't always do that. I've got one for insecticides and fungicides, and I have one for herbicides. I keep those 2 separate.
Okay, Brett,
I'm spraying.
we're going to take a short break, commercial break, and we'll be right back. You're watching the Paul White Show. We're talking about crawlers.